As we step into 2025, one thing is clear: de-dollarization is not stopping, it's accelerating. China and other BRICS nations are scared of President Trump, and it's making them more determined to reduce their dependence on the US dollar and establish themselves as a global economic superpower. Their secret weapon? Gold. In fact, China resumed buying gold. And you know what's even more telling? They underreport their buy. Doesn't it make you wonder why? They recognize its global value and its ability to withstand economic shocks. Gold is a global asset with innate value. It's tangible, reliable, and it's immune to economic manipulation. China and other BRICS countries want to be prepared. They just don't want it to be known. But this isn't about nations. It's about you. In a world of shifting economic power, gold is your personal hedge against uncertainty. That's why Noble Gold Investments can help you secure your financial future with gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today to learn more. And with a qualified account, receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. And remember, there's always a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. Hi there, and welcome to the weekly wrap-up for this Friday, January 17th, 2025. How the time continues to move. And we're looking forward to what updates we have today for you. And we thank you for watching the podcast. Again, if you are new, please do like, subscribe, and share so that others can gain in the knowledge you are afforded. As always, we have a lot to cover, so let's get started and dive right in. So this week's shows, we had a great lineup. We had the one and only Mr. Greg Manarino, Ian from Imperium, Norman Traversy giving his update from Canada, military Army brat Matthew Nugent, the wonderful Miss Denise Boland, new guest Kenny Metcalf and his wonderful story on his testimony about music and the Lord, and of course, Russell Brown. Next week, we have Alistair McLeod, your fellow mate David Mahoney, the one and only Mr. Derek Johnson, Lloyd Brunson, Holly Celiano, and of course, retired Lieutenant Air Force pilot Sandy Mirarecki. Now on to the headlines. Macy's Incorporated on Thursday disclosed the locations of the 66 stores that will be closing this year. There's a list that includes the Macy's department store in downtown Brooklyn. In New York City, Macy's is also shuttering its Staten Island furniture store, as well as the Macy's Backstage off-price stores in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, Fordham Place, and in the Bronx, as well as in Queens. The downsizing, which is part of the retailer's bold new chapter strategy announced in February of 2024, calls for closing approximately 150 underproducing stores while investing in 350 go-forward Macy's locations, all through fiscal 2026. Last month, Macy's upped its store closing count this year from 66 to 55, as previously reported. Among other Macy's department store closings are locations in Boynton Beach, Florida, Philadelphia City Center, and the Sunrise Mall in Massapequa, New York. Shoppers were stunned to discover that 2 stores belonging to the popular TJ Maxx rival Ross had closed their doors for good. Ross Dress for Less stores at the Fort Street Mall in Kiamauako Street in Honolulu, Hawaii shut their doors on January 10th. Customers initially found out about the closures after both stores posted flyers confirming the news. A beloved family-run bakery chain will close its doors for good this weekend after 120 years. Audie's employs more than 100 people across 13 stores in Lancashire, but it will be shutting its shop on Saturday, January 11th. The announcement has left customers devastated, with many taking to social media in order to voice their shock and sadness. TikTok said it could shut down the social media site in the US on January 19th unless the Supreme Court takes action tomorrow. Absent such relief, that would shut TikTok, one of the nation's most popular speech platforms, for more than its 170 million domestic monthly users on the eve of a presidential inauguration, reads a TikTok legal filing. President Trump also sent a plea to the Supreme Court to stay the TikTok ban until after his inauguration due to foreign policy concerns. Trump has the authority to issue a 90-day delay on the law after January 19th through Congress, though Congress would have to certify the evidence of significant progress towards ByteDance divesting from TikTok. That would have to take place. The outdoor equipment and apparel retail sector has faced financial distress in the last year, leading to store closures, layoffs, and in some cases, bankruptcy filings. Manchester, Vermont outdoor gear and apparel retailer Orvis on October 4th of last year said it planned to close an undisclosed number of its 80 retail stores in the U.S. and lay off approximately 112 of its employees and continue or discontinue its historic retail catalog in order to enable a smaller and more agile business, VT Digger reported. The Writers Guild of America East, which represents the Vox newsroom, told the Wrap 12 employees lost their jobs as a part of Thursday's cuts. Vox Media is laying off an undisclosed number of the employees on Thursday. The job cuts are the second round of layoffs to hit the company in the past month. Kohl's revealed on January 9th that it would close 27 underperforming locations in 15 states by April of 2025. The Mianese Falls, Wisconsin-based department store chain will also close its San Bernardino, California e-commerce fulfillment center when its lease term ends in May of 2025, the company said in a statement. Back in 2016, popular department store chain Kohl's closed 16 stores across the country. This year, it plans to close even more nationwide. Walgreens has announced it will be closing 12 of its stores across San Francisco in the coming weeks. The pharmacy chain will start shuttering stores in California City at the end of February. Spokesperson Marty Maloney disclosed that the closing stores would have their last business days between February 24th and February 27th. JP Morgan Chase's announcement that all employees will be required to work from the office 5 days a week starting in March has predictably sent many workers into a tailspin, and they're reportedly devising ways to fight back. The company officially told some 300,000 employees on Friday that it was ending remote work. A little over half the employee workforce is already working full-time in the office, but for employees still on hybrid schedules, the news wasn't particularly welcome. Dinoland USA, a theme park within the Animal Kingdom Park in Florida, closed its doors for the final time this weekend after it was mothballed by Disney. Fans rushed to visit the nostalgia-packed Dinoland for one final time. One of the original parts of the Animal Kingdom opened since it was founded more than 25 years ago. The Triceratops spin, as well as the fan-favorite dinosaur rides, were ridden for the last time. Gavin Newsom recall process is starting this week with Karen Bass next. Two of the most prominent California Democrats are in the biggest fight of their political lives over the fallout from the response to the wildfires that have engulfed the greater Los Angeles area. Firefighters made progress on containing the blazes over the weekend, but forecasts call for more extreme fire weather this week that threatens neighborhoods from Brentwood to Encino. With at least 24 dead and thousands of structures destroyed, the fires have become not just a physical catastrophe for residents, but also a political crisis for city and state Democrats. Meta plans to cut 5% of its workforce, or roughly 3,600 workers, with the social media giant focusing on eliminating low-performing employees. The layoffs earlier reported by Bloomberg News were confirmed by Meta, which had approximately 72,400 employees as of September 30th. In a memo published by Bloomberg and confirmed by Meta, CEO Mark Zuckerberg said the company's plan reflects the anticipation of an intense year that will focus on technology such as AI and smart glasses. The FDA has banned the use of a specific red dye in food products, red number 3, a synthetic dye which gives a cherry hue to candies, sodas, and some medications has been linked to cancer and ADHD in some studies. The FDA cannot authorize a food additive or color additive it has been found to cause cancer in humans or in animals, according to Jim Jones, the FDA Deputy Director, for Human Foods, in a statement. Brooks McDonald has laid off a number of senior staff, 143 to be exact, including the firm's global head of distribution. In a bid to save costs, Citi ATM can reveal that the redundancies from the asset manager were described by one former employee as a, quote, pretty brutal event having occurred in the months prior to Christmas. RFK Jr.'s proposed health policies could dramatically reshape the way American food landscape exists. With a focus on eliminating potentially harmful additives, his approach challenges the current food industry standards. More than 60% of grocery store products contain chemical coloring, sweeteners, or preservatives, according to a recent study. This list explores 25 additional grocery items that might come under scrutiny with the possible upcoming changes in food standards. In the midst of Chapter 11 bankruptcy process, Spirit Airlines is cutting roughly 200 jobs in order to reduce costs. We are executing on plans to right-size our organization in order to align with our current fleet size and level of flying and ultimately optimize our airline, the ultra-low-cost carrier said in a statement shared with CNBC. After reviewing our organizational structure, we have made difficult decisions to eliminate 200 positions from departments stemming across the airline. Microsoft has reportedly laid off more employees across its gaming, security, and sales divisions. It's unclear how many employees have been impacted. These new layoffs are also unconnected to a previous round of cuts announced earlier this month. UK oil-based BP, British Petroleum, is cutting 4,700 jobs worldwide and an additional 3,000 contractor roles as part of a cost-saving drive. In an email to staff on Thursday that has been seen by the Associated Press, CEO Murray Auchendross said that the job losses account for much of the anticipated reduction this year. Albertsons is laying off corporate and division support employees across the country, a spokesperson for the company said to the Idaho Statesman on Wednesday. Store employees are not impacted by the cuts, spokesperson said in a statement. The Boise-based supermarket giant, on the heels of a breakup with rival grocer Kroger, said recently it turned its attention towards reducing general as well as administrative expenses. And that concludes the headlines. Now into the precious metals and the Brent crude oil. At the time of this broadcast, gold is up to $2,749.30. Silver moving up precipitously at $31.81, and Brent crude moving up as well to $81.59. Now into the resignations. Huffington Post editor-in-chief Daniel Belton resigned Thursday as part of the news site's ongoing editorial layoffs, the Wrap has learned. She announced her decision via staff memo saying, "I could not in good faith ask others to make this difficult decision without doing the same in kind." Southwest Airlines co-top finance executive plans to step down after more than 33 years with the carrier, extending a leadership overhaul in the wake of an activist campaign by shareholder Elliott Investment Management. CFO Tammy Romo, who is 62, will retire effective April 1st of this year, Southwest said Thursday in a statement. Chief Administration Officer Linda Rutherford, who is 58, also will depart the same date, ending the tenures of the airline's highest-ranking female executives. Southwest said it would begin a search for Romo's replacement. Sonos Inc. CEO Patrick Spence is leaving after 8 years on the job in a move that follows a botched app revamp that upset customers and stymied growth. The audio technology company named Tom Conrad, a board member and former executive at Snap Inc., as well as the Pandora music streaming service, as interim CEO effective this Monday, said the company has hired a firm to find a new leader. Sonos said the move isn't related to its first quarter financial results, which will be announced in February. JP Morgan Chase Tuesday said that CEO and President Daniel Pinto will step down from the roles in the coming months, setting off an executive shuttle with implications for succession planning for CEO Jamie Dimon. Pinto, who has worked at JP Morgan and predecessor firms for more than 4 decades, will cease being COO and president in June and will retire at the end of 2026. Now on to the latest deaths. Anita Bryant, a former beauty queen and singer who gained notoriety in the 1970s for her anti-gay activism, died on December 16th at the age of 84. According to an obituary published in the Oklahoman, the one-time Miss Oklahoma died at her home in Edmond, Oklahoma, surrounded by family and friends. Nebraska Husker superfan Jack Hoffman died at 19 after cancer battle. University of Nebraska football superfan Jack Hoffman, who famously ran for a touchdown during the 2013 Cornhuskers game, has died after a 14-year battle with brain cancer. Veteran lawyer Judy Tongori has passed away. Her death, which followed a brief illness, was announced on Wednesday, January 15th of this year. Thongori was a distinguished senior counsel and family lawyer with over 30 years of experience. She has worked as a mediator in family matters and was a strong believer that family is the core of society. As we enter 2025, de-dollarization is accelerating. China and BRICS nations are reducing their dependence on the US dollar, and their secret weapon? Gold. China is buying gold, quietly underreporting their purchases. Why? Because they know gold's global value, its ability to withstand economic shocks, and its immunity to manipulation. This isn't just about nations, it's about you. Gold is your personal hedge against uncertainty. Noble Gold Investments can help you secure your financial future with gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com now, and with a qualified account, receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins. Remember, there's a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. Phoebe Marr, scholar of Iraq's history and upheavals, dies at the age of 93. Christian Jutner, a child actor from the 1970s who appeared in the films Return from Witch Mountain, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and The Swarm, as well as several TV shows, has died. He was just 60. Jutner died November 29th of natural causes at his home in Yucca Valley, California. His daughter, Aiden Jutner, told The Hollywood Reporter. The writer Marie Wynn, who died on Christmas Day at a Manhattan hospital at the age of 88, was both a chronicler and an impresario of the hawk watching scene. Wynn named pale male for the bird's distinctive color In 1998, she wrote a best-selling book about his life, Red Tails in Love, a work awash in wonderment as much for Central Park's birds as well as the greater ecology for the diverse subculture of New Yorkers drawn to it. In interviews, Wynn referred to Pale Male as, quote, our hero, a mythical figure, and a venerable guy. Top 1980s and 1990s comedy writer-producer David W. Duclon, who created Punky Brewster and co-developed Silver Spoons, died this morning, January 15th, after a long illness. He was just 74. Born Warren David Duclon in Rockford, Illinois, Duclon started his career as a writer in the classic 1970 sitcoms such as The Odd Couple, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, The Jeffersons, and Different Strokes. Fredrik Lindgren, the founding guitarist of the Swedish death metal band Unleashed, has passed away at the age of 53. The band announced the guitarist's passing in a heartfelt statement shared on Facebook on January 6. Lindgren was also known as Freddie Eugene, passed away under undisclosed circumstances. Jose Chacha Jimenez, a prominent Puerto Rican civil rights leader and founder of the Young Lords organization, has died. He was 76. Jimenez died Friday morning, according to his sister Daisy Rodriguez, who announced it on Facebook. Bill McCartney, who coached Colorado to its only football national championship and founded the Promise Keepers, an evangelical Christian group for godly men, died on January 10th in Boulder, where the state's flagship university is located. He was 84. Causes from complications from dementia, his family said in a statement released by the University of Colorado Boulder. Mr. McCartney was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and dementia in 2016. British actor and comedian Tony Slattery passed away at the age of 65 following a cardiac arrest. Slattery's longstanding friend, Mark Michael Hutchinson, confirmed the news. Betty C. Monkman, a former White House curator who during 35 years under 8 presidents was entrusted with the conservation and care of thousands of artistic and decorative treasures within the residence's collection, died on January 7th in Vienna, Virginia. She was 82. She died at the home of a niece, Elizabeth Jackson Patine, who confirmed the death and said the cause was leukemia. The member representing the Aikeen Sagamu Remo North Federal Constituency, Adewumi Oriami Unaguna, popularly known as Ijaya, has died. Onaguna died at age 59, reportedly Wednesday afternoon after a brief illness. The dedicated public servant who was born December 2nd, 1965 until her death was the deputy chief whip of the Green Chamber of the National Assembly. Buck White, the patriarch of country and bluegrass music group, the Whites, died on Monday, January 13th at age 94. White's daughters Sharon, Cheryl, Rosie, and Melissa said in a statement, the Lord answered our prayers and took our daddy home peacefully this morning at 8 a.m. We are so thankful for the 94 years he enjoyed on this earth. He was a great father who taught us by example to put Jesus first always. His great loves were the Lord, our mother, his family, and music. Most people remember him not only for being a great musician and entertainer, but also for being fun-loving and full of mischief. He lived a full life and finished well. Jack Waddell, a former opera singer who became a beloved and revered vocal coach for such Broadway stars as Brian Stokes Mitchell, Jessica Vosk, and Brandon Victor Dixon, died January 1st at his home in Bloomington, Illinois, under the care of his friends. He was 83. His passing was announced by students Dixon, Vosk, and Owen Rosansky. A cause of death was not immediately disclosed. Michael Goretti, who worked as a distribution executive with MGM and as a publicist who represented the likes of Julie Andrews, James Garner, and Chuck Norris, died Monday in Los Angeles, his family announced. He was 82. Born October 30th, 1942, and raised in Freeport, Long Island, Goretti served overseas with the U.S. Navy prior to being hired by MGM in 1965 as a regional advertising publicity representative, working in Chicago, Atlanta, and Dallas. The automotive and motorcycle community is mourning the loss of John Craman, the iconic Meckham auctions announcer and motorcycle expert, passed away on January 12th of this year at the age of 68. Known for his encyclopedic knowledge and unparalleled enthusiasm, Craman was a beloved figure in the world of collector cars as well as motorcycles. At age 82, the endless summer star and talented surfer Mike Heinsohn passed away, leaving a scar on the surfing world. Heinsohn, a California native, is widely known for co-starring in the 1966 The Endless Summer film directed by Bruce Brown. The documentary followed Heinsohn and Robert August on an international surf trip. Needless to say, the film took off and captured the attention of viewers worldwide. John F. Burnett, the veteran film editor who cut Grease and Justice for All and Murder by Death in Films directors George Cukor, Blake Edwards. Sidney Pollack has died. He was 90. Burnett died October 24th of natural causes in Lincoln, California. His son, cinematographer and producer John Earl Burnett, told The Hollywood Reporter. He said his father was a victim of elder abuse, and for legal reasons, the family could not disclose the news of his death until this point. Claude Jarman Jr., a former child star who won a Juvenile Academy Award for his performance in The Yearling as a lonely town-headed boy who adopts an orphan fawn, died on January 12th at his home in Kentfield, California, north of San Francisco. He was 90. His wife, Katie Jarman, said the cause was complications from a neurological condition. Robert Lammel, who kept the Lammel Theater's art house cinema chain going throughout Los Angeles when he took over for his father, died Thursday at age 89, it was reported. Lammel, known as Bob, died at the Berkeley East Healthcare Center in Santa Monica, where he was receiving care after a fall at his home on December 23rd, the Los Angeles Times reported. A cause of death was not immediately disclosed. Jackie Ferry, an industry veteran who worked closely with Nirvana, becoming Francis Bean Cobain's first nanny, and then was tour manager for Elliott Smith, the John Spencer Blues Explosion, the Lemonheads, and others, died Sunday of complications from a lung disease. Ferry, who had battled cancer for more than 20 years, died at the age of 58. Tracy Friesen, a longtime Canadian TV producer and media strategist, has died. She was 58. Friesen died Monday in Vancouver after receiving a cancer diagnosis on September 24th at the Whistler Film Festival, where she had been a board member. It was announced on the website. Legendary DC reporter Derek Ward dies suddenly at age 62. TV personality and pop star Linda Nolan has died at age 65. Her agent has announced the Irish singer, along with her sisters Colleen, Maureen, Bernie, Denise, and Anne, rose to fame with a string of hits in the late 1970s and 80s, including the iconic disco track, I'm in the Mood for Dancing. Family, friends, and fans are grieving the loss of Owen Leahy, a member of the popular emo band This Is Pointless, has died at the age of 28. The musician passed away suddenly on Monday, January 6th. Per an online obituary, a cause of death was not disclosed. Leahy's close friend, Juliet Cruz, launched a GoFundMe page. Sir Thomas Dunn, who has died at the age of 91, could reasonably be said to have embodied the county of Herefordshire, the heir to an estate near Leominster that has been the family since 1678. Dunn was for 3 decades the Queen's representative in the county, serving as its Lord's Lieutenant from 1977 to 2008, and as Lord Lieutenant of Worcester from 1977 to 2001. It was an astonishingly long tenure, which he crowned by chaining the Lord Lieutenants Association, effectively making him the senior Lord Lieutenant in the kingdom. Michael Schlesinger, who for more than 25 years worked as a studio repertory executive for divisions of United Artists, Paramount, and Sony as a champion of the film classics and a forgotten B movies alike, has died. He was 74. Schlesinger died Thursday at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles after a short bout with cancer. Fashion photographer Olivero Toscani, known for his shock ad campaigns for Italian clothing brand Benetton, has died at the age of 82. His family is confirmed. The brand's former art director revealed last year that he had amyloidosis, a rare and incurable condition that affects the body's vital organs and nerves. Carol Wilburn, cat therapist, dies at 84. Wilburn, who died December 23rd at the age of 84, spent half a century treating cats and the humans they live with, starting decades before animal behaviorists became the common place that they are in today. Sometimes referred to as Kitty Freud, she billed herself as the cat therapist. She made house calls, wrote columns for publications like Cat Fancy, and wrote 6 books, including Cat Talk and The Inner Cat. Bill Burge, a comedian and actor known for his appearances alongside Jim Varney in various earnest projects, has died at the age of 92. Burge's cousin, Sharon Chapman, confirmed the news on Facebook. Peggy Caserta, arbiter of hippie fashion in the 1960s, dies at 84. Sam Moore, who had classic hits with the one-soul duo Sam and Dave in the 1960s, died Friday morning in Coral Gables, Florida. He was 89. The cause of death was post-surgery complications, according to the singer's rep. Moore took the tenor part on perennials that are familiar even to generations not yet born during the duo's 60s heyday, including Hold On, I'm Coming, a #1 hit in 1966, Soul Man, which reached #2 on the Hot 100, as well as topping the R&B chart in 1967, and I Thank You, a top hit on both charts in 1968. Otto Schenk, an Austrian actor who became a prominent opera director, revered among traditionalists, especially for his productions of the works of Richard Wagner, died January 9th. He was 94. Mr. Schenk lived in Austria, and his death was announced by the Vienna State Opera. Other details were not immediately available. Rory Callum Sykes, a British-born former child actor, has died in the wildfires that devastated California this week. Sykes, who featured in the Australian TV series Kitty Capers, was at the family's home in Malibu when he died at the age of 32. The news was announced by X by his mother, Shelley Sykes, who also starred in the 1998 reality series. Harvey Laidman, a veteran TV director who helmed multiple episodes of such series as The Waltons, Scarecrow and Mrs. King, the original Matlock, and Seventh Heaven, has died. He was 82. Laidman died of cancer on January 3rd in a hospice facility in Simi Valley. His son, Dan Lehman, told The Hollywood Reporter. 11-year MLB veteran Felix Mantilla passed away Friday at the age of 90. Mantilla appeared in 969 games with the Braves, Mets, Red Sox, and Astros from 1956 to 1966, playing primarily as a second baseman, but with a lot of time spent at third base and shortstop for all three positions. Respected golf industry's veteran Dan Baker, who spent nearly 17 years with the PGA of America, died on Friday in a car accident on Alligator Alley in Florida. He was just 58. Actor Lee Yoon-hee, who appeared in K-drama The Killer Shopping List and film Secret Sunshine, passed away on Saturday at the age of 64. Leslie Charlson, who played Monica Quartermain on General Hospital for nearly 50 years, has died. She was 79. Charlson's death was announced Sunday on the Instagram account of the ABC daytime drama series. The announcement was attributed to General Hospital's executive producer, Frank Valentini. Phyllis Dalton, the two-time Oscar-winning costume designer behind classics like Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Zhivago, as well as The Princess Bride, has died at the age of 99, according to The Telegraph. Dalton's two Oscar wins came nearly a quarter century apart, first for her work on David Lean's 1965 historical epic Dr. Zhivago, and then again for Kenneth Branagh's 1989 adaptation of Shakespeare's Henry V, in which the actor-director famously performed the bard's iconic St. Crispin's Day speech. And that, thankfully, concludes the deaths. Now on to the commentary section. So, folks, please keep in mind, we bring on a variety of guests in order to give you a broad range of perspective on all the key issues. That being said, it doesn't mean that we agree with every guest 100%, but that's really not the point. The point is to give you the facts and information and let you draw your own conclusions as to what works for you specifically. Okay? It's about the collective. In many ways, we are quietly teaching our guests without them even knowing it. But we do it in a manner that shows respect, grace, and class, and allows there to be a dialogue. This, we believe, is befitting in a manner that represents the Lord and ultimately makes the guests want to come back for further discussion. And that concludes this week's wrap-up of all the events. If anything breaking comes out, which we anticipate it will, as always, we'll bring it to you. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. Goodbye for now.